It's like the more I ask, who am I feel like the system attempts to get me to change my beliefs. And I worked very hard to paint a picture of my beliefs and infrastructure as opposed to what society and the rest of the world tell me. Why? Because I saw something different in those thoughts, in those visions, as opposed to what reality is painting is happening. I saw a land that's full of the thriving future, aliens, everything under the sun. But it all worked together because there were threats bigger than each individual there. And I go, why would even the universe give me this understanding and it not be taking place? So I look at how I see reality versus what they would call reality warpers, or what's going on in my head while I'm existing in everyone else's universe. It makes for a very compelling conflict within the stories itself. And the more I continue to ask, who am I and why am I here, the more it paints a different picture of what's been going on in reality versus what's going to happen. It's like I see the future in its entirety, but I'm stuck in the middle. Either I landed here early, or by mistake, or by some event, or I was called to come in and start speaking on these things so people would see where the evolution of humanity and the planet was headed. As far as, transmissions from aliens, yeah, I believe in aliens, but there's so many different thoughts about what they look like out here. I see it from a quantum space. And I go, that really messes with me attempting to warp my perspective of reality within everyone else's perspective of reality. Why? So I can determine who I am, and what I'm doing here, and what my actual purpose is. Because like one of the main things I tell people is nobody wants to come in and rule a planet. It's too much fucking confusion and war within that. But to steer a group of individuals that understand the inner makings of what's happening with the mutation of DNA is that it makes more sense to say mutation than evolution at this point, because from my understanding of quantum physics, if there's a virus that's here in the physical, say for instance the Schrodinger equation, the virus is out of the box and it's mutating, then the DNA and makeup of the human species has to be mutating alongside of it. And that's basically a calculation based on quantum physics and the theory of everything. It's like my movements to keep my thoughts in process affect what I intake and what I don't intake, because I find myself following this stream of information in a particular story, say I base in foundation within the waves of reality itself. In doing so, it's like if everybody can see that we're all painting this picture towards these aliens, but they think it's some new world order, they keep throwing fear in that. But if you tell them that, hey, according to quantum mathematics, the more consciousness believes in aliens, the more we're going to see them vibrationally, because we're going to shift in quantum DNA. And then I go, there's people who've already seen that shift, who see the aliens and exist within the aliens. And I go, there's people that's not. To me, that proves multiverse theory here on this planet, let alone just what's going on through the internet. If you look at the internet, the multiverse theory, it's 100% capability and probability. In fact, it's a thing, period. But if you look at it here on the planet, you're going to jump in and out of different multiverses depending on what you're doing. This is just the rest of the club, so to speak. That's odd. That train should not be that way. That's a synchronization, I guess. To me, it's like my consciousness understood the multiverse before I saw it reflecting here throughout the rest of the people. Like traveling on this infinite trail, or this omniscience trail. But to say that regardless of my actions of what people want to see me do here, I go, I'm really working on teleportation with just the human mind itself. To me, that would be one of the most fascinating feats seen in humanity, is right here, controlled teleportation. I mean, it's not so much as wanting to prove it to reality, but to do it myself, because it would make my mind a lot more manageable. And looking at it from an omniscience theory of everything standpoint, it's like I know I can do it in my dreams, that if I'm walking in my dreams, I should be doing it in this vessel. All the other math doesn't make sense. Just that statement there, from my understanding of how dreams work and how we walk as a human species in the entire dream of the universe itself. If I could dream and have lucid dreams of teleportation, which is just another instance of me in the time-space continuum, then this body is 100% capable of performing the same feats. I go, everything out there says that it's not possible, but I go, if you look at the math I just presented to you guys through alphabetic equations, it technically does. And it frustrates me when all these beliefs come in and say you can't do that. And then I go, I don't have to prove it to anybody. I know the capabilities of the magic that I've seen with my own eyes. So why should I believe in what they're saying if they don't see the magic and believe in magic? They'd just be more sheep lost to the wolves. I mean, they once told me I was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and I go, why be a wolf when you can be so greater? That started the never settle movement for me. Boy, I hope I was still in a blind spot. I ain't even gonna look back on the video. I hope that motherfucker circle back around and just headed that way. Oh boy, that's all right. Let me stop this broadcast. We'll see what I get in the next download.